Hi guys, today I'll be talking about how to sell Bitcoin. So these days virtually all the methods available to sell Bitcoin also offers the option to sell. The exception is Bitcoin ATMs. Some do allow you to exchange Bitcoin for cash, but not all. All exchange allow you to sell as well as buy. What type of exchange you choose to sell your Bitcoin will depend on what type of holder you are. Something like, are you a small investor, institution holder, or a trader? So some platforms are aimed more at large orders from investors and traders. So retail clients can sell Bitcoin at exchange such as Coinbase, Bitstamp, etc. And each exchange has a different interface, and some offer related services such as secure storage. Some require verified identification for all trades, and others can feel more relaxed if small amounts are involved. And before you make any profit, don't forget to declare to your relevant tax authority, and you can also exchange your Bitcoin for other crypto asset rather than cash. Some exchange such as Shapeshift focus on this service, allowing you to swap between Bitcoin and Litecoin, XRP, Dash, and several others. So another alternative is the direct sales. You can register as a seller or platforms such as Local Bitcoin, Bitquick, and Big Bargain. And interested parties will contact you if they like your price. And also transactions are usually done via deposit or wire to your bank account, after which you are expected to transfer the agreed amount of Bitcoin to the specific address. Or you can sell directly to your friends and families once they have Bitcoin wallet set up. Basically, you just need to send the Bitcoin, collect the cash or mobile payment, and collect the mobile payment. So despite cashing out your Bitcoin is not as straightforward as buying them. So if you decide to sell your Bitcoin online, you can either do it via an exchange, direct trade, or carry out a peer-to-peer transaction. Yeah, so outside of your comfort zone, you can withdraw flat money using Bitcoin ATM or sell your Bitcoin in person. So despite having several disadvantages, exchanges are a one-stop solution when it comes to trading Bitcoins. So in the case of selling the cryptocurrency, exchange act as an intermediate that holds both sellers and buyers' funds. So firstly, how are you going to start on it is that you need to set an account with an exchange of your choice. The majority of Reputable exchange will require a complete identity verification and also a connected bank account so that you can withdraw your funds. Afterwards, you can simply just place a sell offer stating the type of currency you wish to trade, its amount, and also your asking price per unit. The exchange will automatically complete the transaction once someone matches your offer. So after the funds are credited to your account, you will need to withdraw them to your connected bank account. This can sometimes take an excessive amount of time, especially if the exchange is experiencing issues with its bank and or facing liquidity problems. And moreover, some banks just outright refuse to process the transaction with funds obtained via cryptocurrency trading. So it is also important to consider a fee you need to pay in order to use some exchange. For example, one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, which is Sy98xs, charge a flat fee of $50 for withdrawal via bank transfer and $3.80 if you are withdrawing your funds to a Visa card, and 1.2% of transaction plus the additional $3.80 if you are using MasterCard. So the withdrawal fee can change depending on an exchange, but transaction fees are always either tiny or non-existent at all. In addition, most exchanges will have a limit on the amount of money you are allowed to store. The limit will increase over time if you stay loyal to a particular exchange. So finally, it's important to remember that despite offering wallet services, exchanges are by no means a secure and reliable place to store your funds. They are prone to hackers attack, and there have also been instances of exchange shutting down and running away with their users' funds. Hence, why you should take full responsibility for your own funds and store any amount that is not immediately needed in a secure offline wallet. So next, it will be for the direct trades. Another way of selling your Bitcoin is via a direct trade with another person. The service is accessible on website and usually associated with exchange and include an intermediate facilitating to the connection. So after you register everything and your account, when you post an offer indicating your intention to sell some Bitcoin, the buyer will want to trade with you, and then from then on, when you receive a notification from the service, you are only interacting with the buyer, as the website merely serves as a platform to complete the trade. The process of selling Bitcoin on some of those sites can be quite involved and time-consuming, so it is imperative to do your research before deciding on a trading platform and make sure you have the time and patience required. So for online peer-to-peer trading, peer-to-peer trading marketplace are relatively new development in the Bitcoin world. There is no direct exchange of funds taking place. Instead, this website essentially works as a platform that brings people with different yet complementary needs together. The service is designed for mutual benefits of people who like to buy Bitcoin with their credit cards and those who want to spend their Bitcoin to buy goods from places that don't accept digital currency as a form of payment. As a result, the former gets their flat currency exchanged to BTC while the latter can buy discontinued goods. So the website facilitating the service provide user with enclosed service for transaction as well as a wallet to store Bitcoin. So this is an example of how it goes about. Blog post his required wish list including the discount amount he wished to receive, which normally goes up to 25%. And Jack then accepts the trade and pays for Bob's good through the marketplace stating Bob's delivery address. So once the goods are delivered, the marketplace then release Jack's money from Encro and transfer the funds into Jack's wallet. Well, this system allows Jack to acquire Bitcoin relatively easily using just his bank card. It also charged him quite a high fee for the service. So all of the services mentioned above are online-based centralized platform. In order to be able to sell the Bitcoin using these services, you will usually need to verify your identification, which obviously would Bitcoin trading off. Moreover, once you manage to sell your Bitcoins, you will need to withdraw them to your bank account or bank card. More often than not, this process will actually take a very long time and will also incur some fees. Hence, a lot of people are opting for offline trading via ATM. So, despite looking like traditional cash machine, Bitcoin ATMs are not ATMs in the traditional sense. Instead of connecting to the user bank account, they are connected to internet in order to be able to facilitate Bitcoin transaction. So Bitcoin ATM can accept money in cash and then exchange it to Bitcoin given as a paper receipt with a QR code on it, or by moving the funds to a wallet on a blockchain network. They usually charge very high transaction fees. These are media reports citing fees as high as 7%. Moreover, they can be quite difficult to locate. Most known Bitcoin ATM are marked on this Bitcoin ATM map. So the links are below here. Yeah. So only a few specific Bitcoin ATM offers functionality, meaning that user can both buy and sell Bitcoin using them. However, some operators might disable sell operations. Sometimes Bitcoin ATM provider require user to have an existing account to conduct selling operation, and the registration process often involve a lot of time, energy and effort. For example, new user of robot coin ATM needs to a telephone number for activation and notification, government issue ID, palm scan and a current photo taken by the ATM webcam. The identification process various depending on the machine and even on different operator running similar ATMs. But some sort of identity verification will always be required if you want to sell. So after your identity is verified, you are given a QR code with a wallet address to which you need to send your Bitcoin. Depending on the machine you are using, you will either get cash out of machine immediately or you will receive a redeem code, and then you need to wait for transaction confirmation. Usually one confirmation is enough, but sometimes up to 6 confirmations are required before the user can actually withdraw cash. So despite the ever-growing number of Bitcoin ATMs worldwide, they are still primarily used to buy Bitcoin. However, BTC ATM operator will need to adjust the setting on their machine in accordance with anti-money laundering and know your company standards. So for selling Bitcoin in person, in many ways, trading digital currency in person is about as easy as it gets, cause all you need to do is to sell your Bitcoin, is scan a QR code on someone's phone and then receive cash on the spot. So if you are selling to your friend or relative, you only need to set them up with a Bitcoin wallet, send them the necessary amount and collect your cash. However, if you are dealing with a random person, you will most likely go through lengthy rounds of negotiation discussing the price, place of meeting and other relevant conditions. Moreover, you need to take a few things into consideration to ensure your safety and safety of your funds. So, how can you negotiate a price? There are numerous websites and forums in existence that help traders arrange one-on-one meeting to buy and sell Bitcoin. With local Bitcoins being the most widely used platform, one of its main advantage is the rating system, which means you can assess the trustworthiness of people you wish to trade with. So the final exchange rate is normally agreed upon during the meeting. Most traders use rate from Prometheus Exchange. Alternatively, services like Bitcoin Price Index can be used. Sometimes sellers will charge a fee on top of Bitcoin current exchange rate for convenience and also to cover their costs. Choosing the amount of said fee is entirely up to you, but normally it's actually set around 5 to 10%. So the exchange rate can be different depending on a country. This is associated with difficulties in obtaining Bitcoin with the local national currency. Alternately, instead of setting up one-on-one meeting in advance, you can visit your local Bitcoin meetup. There are numerous such meetups around the world during which the attendees are happy to buy and sell Bitcoin and also other digital currency. So to conduct person-to-person trade is probably the safest environment. Of course, when selling at a meetup, you need to be prepared to negotiate the price on the spot. So you can actually find information about your local Bitcoin meetup using services such as meetup.com. So, piece of advice for staying safe is selling Bitcoin person to person is the perfect option for trading for those who value anonymous and convenience. However, security consideration, especially when trading with a complete stranger from the internet. First of all, you should choose carefully the place for the meeting. Uh, it has to be a public place with active internet access, as both of you will need to be able to access your online wallet. Bringing a friend along to the meeting is also quite common in person-to-person trading, but it is important to notify the buyer to the meeting. So withdrawing funds, if you are selling Bitcoin online, you will face the problem of withdrawing funds. The most common way to move money is international wire transfer, and most exchanges support this method of transfer. Recently, however, some transfer begin to accept credits and debit cash withdrawal. Alternately, money can be transferred via SEPA, which stands for Single European Payment Area. It is a system designed to make international transfer between members of European Unions more efficient. However, both of these systems are far from perfect. Transfer usually take a very long time depending on the country and the amount of money being transferred. They can take up to 4 days to be processed. Moreover, both these systems incur additional charges. So if you are opening a bank account specifically for withdrawing money made on Bitcoin sales, you will need to do your research and choose the bank that best suit your need. So for the last few minutes, I'll be talking about how do Bitcoin transaction work, and then I'll continue the other part of it the next session. So how does this transaction work is that the Bitcoin wallet doesn't actually hold the coins. What does it hold is the Bitcoin address, which actually keep a record of all the transactions and therefore the balance. So the address is also known as the public key. Each address or public key has a corresponding public key of 64 letters and numbers. This is private, and it is important that people keep it secret and safe. Those two keys are related, but there is no way that you can figure out the public key, the private key from the public key. So, it's important because any transaction that the person issue from his or her Bitcoin address needs to be signed with the private key. So to do that, the person can actually put the private key and the transaction details, meaning how many Bitcoin you want to send and who you want to send to into the Bitcoin software on that person's computer or software. So with this information, the program split out a digital signature which gets to send out to the network for validation. So this transaction can be validated, that is, it can be confirmed that the person actually owned the Bitcoin and the person is transferring to another.
Ya sia. In your dreams can suddenly complete.
If the signature was made with the private key that corresponds to that public key, the program will validate the transaction without knowing what the private key is. The network will then confirm that the person previously haven't spent the Bitcoin by running through uh, the person's address history. So once the transaction has been validated, it gets included into a block along with a bunch of transactions. A brief detail to discuss what a hash is, because it is important for the next paragraph. A hash is produced by a hash function, which is a complex max equation that reduces any amount of text or data to 64 character string. It's not random because every time you put in that particular data set through hash function, you will get the same 64 character string. So if you change even just a comma, you will get a completely different 64 character string. So this is a very effective way to tell if something has been changed, and is how the blockchain can confirm that a transaction has not been tampered with. So back to the block, each block includes as a part of its data a hash of the previous block. That's what makes it part of a chain, hence the term blockchain.
I will cry because I'm that kind of like
So one part of the previous block was tampered with, the current block hash will have to change. Remember that one tiny change in the input of the hash function changed the output. So if you wish to change something in the previous block, you also have to change something in the hash in the current block. Because the one that is currently included is no longer correct, that's a really hard thing to do, especially since by the time you have reached halfway, there's probably another block on top of the current one. You then also have to change that one, and so on and so forth. This is what makes Bitcoin virtuality tampered proof. So if you want to know more, you or wish to indulge in some mindless fascination, you can sit at your desk and watch Bitcoin transaction flow by blockchain.info.
That sounds like Tommy the rat. Hello, join us. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, quite a slides.
Yeah, I'm done. I still got how many seconds? Soon I guess.
Then you'll see. You will divide this.
I'll continue the next session on more on transaction.
习惯没说。
Yeah.